Let's go to Dallas and let's talk about the Thanksgiving Day matchup between the Chiefs and the Cowboys as Dak Prescott and the Dallas Cowboys beat Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs 31-28 on Thanksgiving Day on CBS. For the Chiefs, Patrick Mahomes, he went 23 for 34. He threw for 261 passing yards, 4 touchdowns. For the Cowboys, Dak, 27 for 39. He threw for 320 passing yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. CeeDee Lamb had 7 receptions, 112 receiving yards, 1 touchdown. So, the Chiefs' playoff chances entering Thursday, they had a 63% chance to make the playoffs, according to ESPN's analytics. They had a 63% chance to make the playoffs entering Thursday before the matchup against the Cowboys. After that loss, that 63% chance to make the playoffs now dips to 47% for the Kansas City Chiefs. So, my immediate reaction to the Kansas City Chiefs losing the matchup on Thanksgiving to the Cowboys was the Kansas City Chiefs are officially in trouble. They are in a world of trouble, and they are sitting here at 6-6. And right now, the Steelers are ahead of the Chiefs. The Texans, who they play in Week 14, are ahead of the Chiefs. And in the wild card race, this is the wild card race, because in the AFC West, the Broncos are going to win the AFC West. That is over, okay? Chiefs fans, it is a wrap. The Chiefs will not win the AFC West. That belongs to the Denver Broncos. But in the AFC wildcard race alone, the Chargers, Colts, and Bills all hold the wildcard spots in the AFC right now. And the Texans and Steelers also are ahead of the Chiefs. Now, the Steelers and the Chiefs have identical records, and I expect the Chiefs to finish ahead of the Steelers by the end of the season. The Steelers are awful, but the Texans, they play them in Week 14. That could be a tough matchup for the Chiefs. And then some of these teams have the tiebreaker over the Chiefs as well, including the Broncos, the Jags. They beat the Chiefs earlier this season. The Chargers beat the Chiefs as well in Week 1. The Bills also beat the Chiefs. The only teams that the Chiefs have beaten in the playoff race right now are the Colts and the Ravens, because the Ravens right now are in 4th place. They lead the AFC North. But I'm watching the game on Thursday against the Cowboys, and I'm sitting there thinking to myself, the Chiefs defense, they cannot get off the field. And that's been the biggest issue for the Chiefs this year. The Chiefs, their defense, they only get off the field 43% of the time. That's ranked 26th in the NFL. So teams are converting on their third down opportunities against the Chiefs defense. And Dak Prescott was balling in this game. I know he had the 1 interception in the first quarter, but besides that, Dak was balling. And I feel like Dak Prescott has been balling the last few weeks. The last few weeks for the Cowboys, Dak Prescott has been playing some really, really good football. The last 3 weeks, Dak has 8 touchdowns, 1 interception, and he is playing the quarterback position at an elite level. We know that Cowboys offense, they are elite, with CeeDee Lamb at receiver and George Pickens as well. And now with Dak Prescott throwing the football at an elite level at the quarterback position, the Dallas Cowboys are playing great. They're on a 3-game winning streak. They beat the Raiders. They followed that up. They had a come-from-behind victory over their division rivals in the Philadelphia Eagles last week. And then they beat Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs in primetime on Thanksgiving, a game where they pretty much dominated majority of the game, and the Cowboys dominated the Chiefs specifically on the stat sheet. The Cowboys had more first downs than the Chiefs. The Cowboys were better on third down than the Chiefs were. Okay? The Cowboys had more rushing yards than the Chiefs. The Cowboys had more passing yards than the Chiefs. The Cowboys had more total yards than the Chiefs. And here's a key stat. The Cowboys defense has stepped up and made much improvements during the course of the season. We have to give Jerry Jones, Stephen Jones, and the head coach for the Cowboys, Brian Schottenheimer, we have to give them credit for the Cowboys stepping up from a defensive standpoint. We know how elite their offense is with Dak, with CeeDee Lamb, and with George Pickens. But surprisingly, the Cowboys defense has improved as the season has went along. And their addition, bringing in Quentin Williams, they still got Kenny Clark, who they had got in the Micah trade. That has been huge for the Cowboys defense. Quentin Williams and Kenny Clark have done tremendous because what they're doing is they're plugging up the middle. It's hard to run the football against this Cowboys defense right now. It is hard to run the football. They had 3 sacks on Patrick Mahomes in the Thanksgiving Day matchup. Jadeveon Clowney, he had 2 sacks, and Dante Fowler also was able to get a sack as well. And another key X factor in their defense has been DeMarvion Overshow. Overshow has came in and had a tremendous impact on this Cowboys defense. I think a couple years ago, he had a season-ending injury. So we weren't able to see how good Overshown really is as a player, but he has really played well. He had 2 tackles, 4 assisted tackles in the game against Mahomes and the Chiefs. And remember, they traded for Logan Wilson at the trading deadline with the Bengals. Logan Wilson had 3 tackles as well. So that Cowboys defense, they have done a tremendous job. And I got to show love to that Cowboys defense and their defensive coordinator, Matt Eberflus. Matt Eberflus has done a tremendous job. So big shout out to the Cowboys defense. Big shout out to Dak Prescott. As for the Chiefs, I'm looking at the Chiefs offense right now. The Chiefs offense is very one-dimensional. It is literally Patrick Mahomes or bust for the Kansas City Chiefs right now. And we know Patrick Mahomes is the best quarterback on the planet. And he is more than capable at being able to be effective as a quarterback. And you can have success relying on Patrick Mahomes alone in your offense. I mean, I'm looking at Patrick Mahomes for the season, 22 touchdowns, 7 interceptions, 3,238 passing yards. He's completing 65% of his passes. I think Patrick Mahomes actually is playing the quarterback position at a very, very good level. I'm not going to say great. I've seen Mahomes play better in previous years than he's playing right now. But Patrick Mahomes is still an elite quarterback and one of the top quarterbacks in pro football. But the reason why the Chiefs are struggling, number one, because they can't get off the field on third down defensively. And also offensively, they don't really run the football very well. I'm looking at the Chiefs offense. They average 118 rushing yards per game. That's ranked 15th. So they're right in the middle of the pack offensively from a rushing standpoint. But their running backs, Kareem Hunt and Isaiah Pacheco, they're not elite running backs. And you don't have to have an elite running back to be a Super Bowl contender, but I think the Kareem Hunt and Isaiah Pacheco experiment has ran its course as the two running backs being featured within this Chiefs offense. I mean, Kareem Hunt for the season, 130 carries, 515 rushing yards, only 7 touchdowns. Pacheco, 81 carries, 345 rushing yards, 1 touchdown. I think the Chiefs need to go and draft a solid young running back next year in the NFL draft. Could you imagine Alshon Jeffrey in this Chiefs offense as their number 1 running back? I know Jeffrey's a rookie and still has a lot of room to grow, but I think that's what the Chiefs need. The Kareem Hunt and Isaiah Pacheco experiment is over. But I still believe that the Chiefs passing game is elite because you got Patrick Mahomes. I mean, they're averaging 257 passing yards per game. That's ranked second. They average 388 total yards per game as an offense. That's ranked 5th in the NFL. And so we know with Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid, the Chiefs still have an opportunity to not only make the playoffs, but make noise once they make the playoffs. They're going to have to finish 11-6, though. They cannot afford to lose another game. I'm looking at the Chiefs' remaining schedule this year. Week 14, they are home against the Texans. That's a game the Chiefs could possibly lose. Week 15, they are home against the Chargers. That's a game they could possibly lose. Okay? Then week 16, they are in Tennessee against the Titans. That's a win. Week 17, they are home against Bo Nix, Sean Payton, and the Denver Broncos. That could be a potential loss. And then week 18, they finish against the Raiders, which will be a win in Las Vegas. So the only 2 games that the Chiefs are locks to win are week 16 against the Titans and week 18 against the Raiders. But because it's Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid, I'm going to give the Kansas City Chiefs the benefit of the doubt until further notice. Until the Chiefs are eliminated from playoff contention, I am going to give them the equity that they have earned in this position and still remain hopeful that they will get in the postseason. And if they get in the postseason as a 7th seed, the Chiefs can beat the Patriots, the Broncos, any of those teams who are the number 2, or number 3 seeds in the AFC. They can beat any of those teams, whether it's the Patriots or the Broncos, because the 7th seed plays a 2 seed on Wild Card Weekend. The Chiefs could beat either the Broncos or the Patriots. And then, more than likely, they would go to and play the Broncos or the Patriots in the divisional round. I think the Chiefs would be favored in that game and could beat the Patriots or Broncos in that particular matchup. It's nothing against the Broncos and the Patriots. I think the Patriots are better than the Broncos, but I think the Chiefs have that championship DNA with Mahomes and with Andy Reid. Another thing about the Chiefs, too. The Chiefs, along with the Giants and the Dolphins, they have the most losses this year when taking a lead in the 4th quarter after trailing. It's happened 3 times this year with the Chiefs, which tells me that Patrick Mahomes and this passing offense for the Chiefs, they're doing their jobs. Andy Reid's doing his job. Defensive coordinator Steve Spagnuolo and that Chiefs defense led by Chris Jones, they are not doing their jobs. They're not a bad defense, but they just cannot get stops on 3rd down. And that's the biggest reason why they sit here today, 6-6, and on the outside looking in far as the AFC playoff race is concerned. But we'll see what happens with the Chiefs moving forward. And the Cowboys got a big matchup against the Lions in week 14 on Thursday night. I'll preview that game a little bit later on.